There's a specific kind of financial frustration that doesn't get talked about enough. Not the frustration of buying something you knew was a bad idea. That one's easy to understand. You made a call, it didn't work out, lesson learned. This is different. This is the frustration of spending money on things that used to make complete sense, things that had a clear value exchange, things that felt like reasonable, responsible adult purchases for years. And then quietly, without any announcement, the value disappeared and the price stayed. You're still paying, you're just not getting what you used to get for it. My name is Dave, and I love helping people identify the moments when the value equation flips and what used to be a smart purchase becomes a quiet drain on everything you're trying to build. These are 10 of the most common ones happening right now, and the combined annual cost for the average household carrying all of them is somewhere in the range of $8,000 to $12,000 a year. Money that could be doing something else entirely. 1. Extended warranties. There was a time when extended warranties made reasonable sense. Products were less reliable. Repair costs were lower relative to replacement costs. The math occasionally worked in your favor. That time is gone for most product categories. Consumer electronics have become cheaper to replace than to repair in most cases. A $200 repair on a $350 appliance makes no financial sense. And the extended warranty you paid $80 for at checkout has more exclusions than a government contract. Mechanical failure from normal use is covered. Everything that actually breaks isn't. The retail industry makes more margin on extended warranties than on the products themselves. That's not a coincidence, it's the business model. The warranty exists because it's profitable to sell, not because it's valuable to own. The alternative costs nothing. Put the money you'd spend on warranties into a dedicated appliance and electronics replacement fund. You'll come out ahead within 2 years, and you'll never argue with a claims adjuster about what constitutes normal wear. 2. Premium bank accounts. Monthly maintenance fees on checking and savings accounts are one of the most quietly accepted pieces of financial waste in modern life. The average monthly maintenance fee on a non-qualifying checking account is $15.47. That's $185 a year to store your own money in an institution that is actively lending that money out at interest rates far above what they're paying you. High-yield online savings accounts now exist that pay 4 to 5% interest with no monthly fees, no minimum balance requirements, and FDIC insurance identical to any traditional bank. The only thing you lose is a physical branch you probably visit twice a year. The premium bank account made sense when online alternatives didn't exist. They exist now. Paying $185 a year for the privilege of earning 0.01% interest on your savings while your bank earns 7% lending it to someone else is a value exchange that stopped making sense approximately a decade ago. 3. Printer ink subscription services. This one is almost comedically bad value once you run the math. Printer ink is, by volume, one of the most expensive liquids on Earth. More expensive than vintage champagne, more expensive than human blood. Printer manufacturers sell the hardware cheaply and make their margin on the consumables. The subscription model that auto ships ink before you need it is designed to maximize that margin, not your convenience. The average household prints fewer than 30 pages a month. Most of those are things that didn't need to be printed. The subscription cost, the hardware cost, the replacement cartridge cost, the inevitable clogged print head that requires a service call that costs more than the printer. The total annual cost of home printing for light users consistently exceeds $300. A local print shop charges between 5 and 15 cents per page. For 30 pages a month, that's $54 a year at the high end versus $300 plus for the home setup. The math stopped working for casual home printers years ago. The subscription made it worse. 4. Name brand over-the-counter medication. The active ingredient in Advil is ibuprofen. The active ingredient in store brand ibuprofen is ibuprofen. The FDA requires generic medications to contain the same active ingredient at the same dosage as their branded equivalents. This is not a matter of opinion. It is a federal regulatory requirement. The price difference between branded and generic over-the-counter medication averages 40 to 60%. You are paying that premium for the packaging, the marketing budget, and the decade of brand recognition those advertising dollars purchased. For the average household spending $400 to $600 a year on over the counter medications, switching entirely to generics saves $160 to $360 annually, with zero reduction in therapeutic effect. The pharmacist knows this. The doctor knows this. The branded medication company is counting on you not knowing it. 5. Landline telephone service. There are approximately 30 million American households still paying for landline telephone service at an average cost of $42 a month. That's $504 a year for a communication channel that the same household is also maintaining via mobile phone at additional expense. The value case for a landline essentially no longer exists for most residential customers. Call quality on mobile networks has matched or exceeded landline quality in most areas. Emergency services can locate mobile callers. The redundancy argument that you need the landline when mobile networks go down applies to a scenario that affects most people approximately never. The $504 annual cost is pure inertia spending. It's on the bill because it's always been on the bill, and canceling it requires a phone call nobody wants to make. That is not a value proposition. That is friction being monetized. 6. Airport food and beverage. This one requires a behavioral change rather than a cancellation, but the math justifies the inconvenience immediately. Airport concessions operate in a captive market with no competition and guaranteed foot traffic. A bottle of water that costs $1.50 outside security costs $4.50 inside it. A sandwich that costs $8 at any street-level deli costs $18 at the gate. A coffee that costs $5 at any chain costs $8 at the airport version of that same chain. The average American takes 2.2 flights per year. The average per trip food and beverage spend inside security is $34. That's $74.80 annually on airport food. A reusable water bottle filled before security and a meal eaten before arrival at the airport reduces that to essentially zero. The inconvenience is 20 minutes of planning. The saving is immediate and guaranteed every single time. 7. Premium gasoline and a standard engine. Premium fuel costs approximately 50 to 80 cents more per gallon than regular. The average American vehicle takes roughly 13 gallons per fill-up and fills up approximately 45 times per year. If your vehicle requires regular fuel and you're buying premium, that's a $292 to $468 annual premium for no measurable benefit. The performance advantage of premium fuel is real, but only in engines specifically engineered to use it. High compression engines, turbocharged engines, performance vehicles. The manufacturer specifies required or recommended fuel in the owner's manual using precise language. Required means the engine needs it. Recommended means you'll get marginally better performance with it. Standard means premium does nothing your engine can measure. The premium fuel industry spent decades implying that premium meant better. For most vehicles, it means more expensive. The owner's manual has always known the difference. 8. Gym memberships at commercial chains. The commercial gym membership business model is built on a specific behavioral prediction that you will sign up with high intention, attend inconsistently, feel too guilty to cancel, and continue paying indefinitely for access you rarely use. The average commercial gym membership costs $58 a month. Industry research consistently shows that roughly 67% of gym members never use their membership. The average member who does attend goes fewer than twice a month. That works out to over $29 per visit at average attendance rates. The value collapse here isn't in the gym itself, it's in the mismatch between the product being sold and the product being purchased. You're buying motivation, not equipment access. The equipment exists in parks, living rooms, YouTube tutorials, and $30 resistance bands. What doesn't exist for free is the accountability, the habit, and the consistency. And those things a commercial gym membership has never reliably delivered regardless of the price point. A specific class, a personal trainer paid per session, or a community-based fitness arrangement where attendance is social and visible delivers the accountability component the commercial membership pretends to provide, usually at lower annual cost and significantly better results. 9. Credit card payment protection insurance. This product is sold at the point of credit card application, often buried in the terms, and renewed automatically at a monthly cost, typically between 0.85% and 1% of your outstanding balance. What it provides: suspension of minimum payments if you lose your job or become disabled. What it costs at an average balance of $6,000, between $61 and $72 a month. What it excludes: most of the circumstances under which people actually struggle to pay their bills. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau investigated credit card payment protection products extensively and concluded they provided minimal tangible benefit to consumers relative to cost, and that the claims process was deliberately complex. The product exists because it's profitable to sell, not because it meaningfully protects the people paying for it. An emergency fund covering 3 to 6 months of expenses provides genuine protection against job loss and disability at zero ongoing cost. The payment protection insurance provides the feeling of protection while the emergency fund provides the actual thing. 10. Expedited shipping on non-urgent purchases. Online retailers have trained consumers to pay for urgency they don't actually need. The average expedited shipping premium over standard delivery is $8.99 to $12.99 per order. The average American places approximately 25 online orders per year. If half of those include an expedited shipping upgrade, the annual cost is between $112 and $162 for the psychological comfort of receiving things slightly faster. The behavioral research on this is straightforward. People significantly overestimate how much faster delivery time will improve their satisfaction with a purchase. The item arrives 2 days earlier. The satisfaction level is essentially identical to what it would have been with standard delivery. The urgency was manufactured by the checkout experience, not by any genuine need. Standard shipping on non-urgent items, a 2-second decision at checkout, saves $112 to $162 a year with no measurable reduction in quality of life. That's the entire definition of spending that isn't worth it. Here's what connects all 10 of these. None of them feel significant individually. That's the mechanism. $15 a month here, $8.99 there. $42 for something you've always paid for without questioning. The individual amounts are small enough to stay below the threshold where people make active decisions about them. But the combined annual cost for a household carrying all 10 of these categories sits between $8,000 and $12,000 a year. Invested at 8% annually over 20 years, that's somewhere between $470,000 and $705,000 in wealth that never got built. Not from any single bad decision. From 10 small ones that nobody examined, because none of them felt worth examining. The question worth asking about every recurring expense isn't whether you can afford it. It's whether what you're getting is still worth what you're paying. For these 10 things, the honest answer stopped being yes a while ago.